Hi, welcome to part two of a series of tutorials on Adobe Photoshop Elements. Last tutorial we just talked about cutting and pasting, how Photoshop is like other text-based documents except we're just dealing with pictures. You can copy and paste them and delete them and do whatever you like with them except we're just working with pictures. What I'm going to do right now is we're going to introduce text into the whole scenario. What we're going to do is this guy right over here. This is called the type tool, and we can just add type into our image. Um, so I'm just going to click on the type, and we're just going to let's see what are we going to say. We're just going to say surfing, I guess. So surfing. Okay, our picture has gone over the side of over the side here. That's no big deal. We can always just go and reduce our point size up here. We've got all our options here. We can reduce our point size to something a little more manageable. We could do it that way, or if I wanted to, if I clicked on the arrow tool now, I could actually scale this thing up to a decent size. If I wanted to, though, we can also pick a different font. You have like a wide selection of fonts to use. Why don't we go with something easy? There we go. Comic Sans, good enough for now. Now, surfing, we've got the this type up right now, and as you can see, because we created something, Photoshop automatically generated a layer for that. So with that said, because we've got these layers, we can reorder these layers. And if you ever see stuff like magazines, say like Rolling Stone magazine, uh, where it's got the person on the cover of the magazine and then it's got the masthead of the magazine in behind. Um, they're using Photoshop to do this, and we're just going to do that right now. I've got this type right here that I'm just transforming. I'm going to hit Enter to activate it. And you can see that the surfing text layer is on top of the dog, which is on top of the wave. If I were to take this surfing layer and drag it down underneath the dog, you better believe that the dog is going to be on top of the type. All right. Now, this is very useful when you are when you are when you want to do something like you want to have type floating in behind imagery, or you want to have things overlapping each other. You're not. You can just restack them in whatever order you want. You're not limited at all. Um, what we can also do now is I want to introduce you to um, the. This is the layers palette, and we have our option of doing a couple different things here. Um, we can, this is what's called the opacity. And if you think of something that it means opaque, that means that you can't see through it. Or if something's translucent, you can. Or transparent, excuse me. What we're going to do is we're going to adjust the opacity of this particular layer. And we can, if it's 100%, but if it was 0%, you wouldn't be able to see it. If it was 50, there we can see it halfway. It's kind of fading into the background there. All right, we could do that if we wanted to. We also have the option of what's called this selection right here. Um, what this does is that this you have a series of, I guess you can almost call them filters. But what this does is that this changes how this layer interacts with the layers below it. Now, right now it's set at normal. So right now it's the red is set for, it's just red because that's what we've colored it. If we were to set it for something like multiply, what that would do is it would multiply the color here with the color underneath it. Let's see what that looks like. So everything turns really dark, right? Because we're multiplying colors together. If you were to, but we can also do other colors which kind of look cooler. There's one called screen, which actually takes color out of it. Like it takes the red and it subtracts it from the color to look like that. We've got if you can just scroll through the different options. There's no right or wrong. A favorite of mine is overlay. For some reason, lots of cool stuff comes from overlay. Um, we have soft light, hard light, difference, which is kind of like a negative of the of what's underneath. Exclusion, not much difference there. Hue, we've got hue is a good one because you're taking the red and it's just taking the pattern from underneath and it's kind of adding a red color to it. So you're kind of colorizing it. Color is a very similar one. Luminosity, it actually takes the color from underneath and applies it to the layer. So really, I'm kind of going on about it, but all this really does is it interacts with the layer underneath it, and so you can apply some cool effects with it. Okay, so and this is how you start to get into some pretty cool stuff with Photoshop. All right, so that's it for this series, for this part. We'll talk about more filters and that in the next part. Thank you and good luck.